Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good seeing you. Good seeing you. Happy for those of you who are here. It is Talk to Ruth live tonight. So I'll give it just a couple minutes and, see who shows up. If a few people come in, hope you all are doing good tonight. Oh, I hope I'm coming in clear. Am I coming in clear? I look fuzzy on my computer. Hey, Real Talk 87. How are you? Good to see you. Good seeing you. Hello, Coach Sherry. How are you? Nell Court, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm a little blurry. Darn it. I hate being blurry. That's what I get for Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I forgot. Okay. I'm back. Hopefully. Okay. Am I clearer now? A little fuzzy, but it's okay. All right. I was trying to hit the refresh button to see, and it took me all the way out. Much better. Okay. Hey, Fruitful Wife, how are you? Blessings to you. It's all hot air. How are you? Good seeing you. Who else? V Loves TNN. Hello, how are you, sis? How are y'all doing tonight? Andrea, what? My sister-in-law's in the building. What? How are you, Jackie? Good to see you. Yes. Good to see you, sis. All right. Okay. So we are here tonight. It is open tonight. It's open tonight. I hope y'all are doing good. I had to get some rest today because I said I'm going to let tonight be pick my brain night. So that means that, I need to be ready for what may come. I need to be ready for what may come. Hey, Levi Boyd, welcome. Good to see you. Good talking to you all. Yeah, I wanted to do this tonight because, man, I'm very much a people person. And I'm so used to being around people, and that's a lot of where I get my inspiration and stuff like that. So when I'm not around a lot of people and I'm not, engaging with people, listening to their conversations and being nosy, different things, or people talking to me, I'm not getting as much, inspiration as I typically would have. So I wanted to just, kind of let this be an open night and let you all pick my brain so that I can kind of see what's on you all's mind, what you all are thinking about or grappling with, or, trying to work through, or you just want to know something about what I think about something. You just want to know more about me, what I think about, what my thoughts are about a particular topic. So I was hoping tonight that you all can, put questions in the chat. You can put a word in the chat. It can just be one word. And I will talk to you all about the Fruitful Wife says, oh, I can give you a whole lot of inspiration. All right, good. I'm glad to hear that. So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what's on you all's minds and what you're dealing with or what you want to know about me. Even so, I'm all open tonight with the questions, with the topics, or whatever the discussion is. So I want to see how I hope you all are doing well. I hope your weekend's going well. I know it's been a crazy 2020, and the weather's been beautiful here in Texas. So I just been, out enjoying life and my kids and the weather and all this good stuff. November is my absolute favorite time of the year. So this is all good for me. It's all good for me. So what's on you all's mind tonight? Who wants to be the first? You don't have to come up. Hey, True Fan, what's up? True Fan to you. I hope you are True Fan to me. I like that name. I love that. Let's see. Nell says, and I don't know, do you all want me to put your things up on the screen? Let's see. I think sometimes sensitives can't hear because there's too much noise in the realm, so to speak. Okay, I think sometimes sensitives can't hear because there's too much noise in the realm to speak. What do you mean by that? No. What do you mean by that? Can you give me a little bit more of what you're asking? I did have something to come in. In fact, let me see if I can pull it up because I thought this was really good. Give me a little bit more, Nell, and let me know are you just making a statement? Are you giving me a thought? Are you asking a question? I'm just wanting to know what you're asking. All right. I did get something. Let me pull that up. I should have had it pulled up already. I'm sorry. Let me go to my comments. I thought this was actually a great question because I typically, let me find it here. All right, comments. Okay. Let's see. It was, hope I can find it. Darn. Thank you, Harrison, for sharing my video. Yes, here it is. I found it. Yeah, I thought this was good and I wanted to kind of start with this just because I know that a lot of people struggle with this and I've struggled with it myself. So I just thought it was, something that we could talk about because I kind of wanted to expound on it a little bit more. And I didn't get to in the comments because, you can only type so much. But anyway, this young lady put a comment in one of my videos and says, I love to socialize, but it's hard to find people that understand your point of view. I would love to hear what you think about having so many thoughts running through your mind while you're talking and your words just don't seem to come out right. That alone, I was able to connect with because I can tell you all right now that I have a million things going through my mind all the time when as I'm talking. So it can be hard for me. I have to really work a lot of times to decipher what's important. What do I need to, impart? What do I need to say? What do I need to respond? How are they going to receive it? What are they going to think about what I said? Like all this is going through my mind as I'm talking, as the thoughts are going through my brain. So anyway, so I definitely connected with that. And then it says, people sometimes think I have a takeover spirit, but it's not like that. I just have to get out what I need to say before I forget. And it causes me to stumble over my words because I'm such a laid back personality as well as being very discreet. Nevertheless, I'm extremely giving and not too judgmental towards others. So I'm a lot of the time misunderstood for not listening. How do I read my audience without stumbling over my words? And then she said some other stuff, but that was the main gist of what she was talking about, how she's talking and she's trying not to, she's talking and she's trying not to forget what she's thinking. So she goes ahead and starts talking, right? And so that makes people feel like she's being rude or like they're interrupting her, like she's over talking them, like she doesn't care about what they say and all that kind of stuff. And I've done that as well. Like you really need to say what you want to say. You want to get it out and because you don't want to forget it. And I have that kind of brain too, a lot as well. When there's something that I have going on and I really want to get it out, I'll just, you start interrupting people, which they can be very offended by. So one of the things that I had told her that I do, like as I'm talking, what my thoughts are, things I like to share is I will first, I keep my phone with me all the time too. And I'll have my notes pulled up a lot of times, and I'll jot down something that I want to say so that I don't forget it. Or if someone's talking to me on the phone, or if I'm, in the office with somebody, I'll jot down a word or two that I want to say so that I don't forget what I want to tell them, because it's really important to work to not to interrupt people when they're talking. I know we can feel very pressed about what it is that we want to say, and make sure that we don't forget it, because we feel like, oh, how many times have we left a conversation and we're like, man, I wish I had said this. Man, I wish I had said that. Why didn't I think of this? Why didn't I think of that? And I have even gone back after conversations were over and said some things that I wanted to say. It's like, I know we talked about this, but there was something else that I kind of wanted to get out and make sure that you understood about what I felt or what I thought about the thing. So yeah, so don't be afraid to go back to a conversation if you can, if there's that opportunity to do that as well. So yeah, let me, so that's one of the things that I do. Like I'll jot it down. I make sure I try not to interrupt people. And when I'm trying to decide what it is I want to say, whether or not I should say something, because like, let me tell you, everything that goes through my brain does not need to come out of my mouth. And the sooner we can recognize that for sure, the better off we are. So here are the things that I try to run through. Is if I need to say something, is it going to uplift the person? Is it going to educate the person? Is it just going to inform them? Or is it gossip, right? Or is it going to, I try to make sure that if it's something that I need to say, that it's going to be beneficial, that it's going to be uplifting, elevating, informative, educational, maybe something they need to know about, how I feel or what I think, or, but I make sure that it's just not gossip, or that I'm down in a person, right? That I'm shaming a person. So if those are the thoughts that are going through my mind, then I make sure I keep my mouth shut, because I know that I need to think about how I can reframe it so that I can say what I need to say, but in a way that doesn't come across as negative. So those are some of the things that I do when I am having those kind of thoughts in my mind, when I have a million things going through my mind. And especially when I'm upset, when I know that I'm angry and when I'm upset, I try really hard not to reply immediately, because I know that if I'm angry and upset, I'm going to say something that's going to be hurtful. And that can be very hurtful to others. And that can be very hurtful to others. So I don't not say what I'm feeling. I don't hold things in. I'm not a person that holds things in. I will hold it in long enough for me to process through it. And then when I'm ready to have the conversation, I will have that conversation with the person, but I make sure that I've calmed down, that I've sort of, calmed my emotions down about it, so that I can make sure that I'm delivering the words and be intentional with my words and say the things that I think will be beneficial to the relationship, and not just my selfish intentions, right? I want them to know how I feel. I want them to, understand this and that. And so I make sure that if I'm having the conversation, that it's beneficial for both. Let's see. Let me look through some of these. We can't hear prompts for inspiration because of the chaos in the world. I see what you're saying now. Yeah, that can be very true. There's so much going on. We're so distracted. And I definitely make time to have some me time so that I can get inspiration, so that I can be inspired by things that are going on in the world, for sure. Fruitful Wife says, I'm jumping down here. I would like to hear you talk about gifts from parent-in-laws with strings attached, buying gifts for grandkids and hoping it will give them the right to share their opinion into their child's life. Yeah, that's good. A lot of people think that just because they're family, just because they're related, just because they're really good friends, that they have the right to speak into your child's life. And that's fine. People can give gifts and, do things for your child and all that kind of stuff. But remind them that you are the parent always. Like, I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate that, you love my child and that you want to impart your wisdom, your thoughts, who you are in them. But these are the things, and depending on what it is that they're saying or that they want to share, let them know what you all's perspective is on it, so that if they want to be agreeable, if they want to parent as you all are parenting, then they can say the things that you're saying and not just saying the things that they want to say. So for instance, if you all are saying, you all are teaching your children to say yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am, and the other person says, you don't have to say that, then you can say, that's not what we teach our children. And we want to teach them respect. We want them to know this. We want them to know that. And I would say it in front of the person and the child, so that they know that, this is what we're doing. Because when kids sometimes don't see what's going on, they'll try to, what's the word? Put the two people against each other. Well, such and such said this, and such and so told me that. But when you say it to them in front of the child, and the child knows, it's almost like you're validating, that I know what they told you, but this is what we do in our house, and this is how we run our parenting, and this is how we do our parenting. And I'm gonna say it in front of you, and I'm gonna say it in front of the person who's intervening. But yeah, people can do whatever they want to for your child, but always remind them that you are the parent. So you all, and that you have the final say. Coach Sherry says, I've been finding the need to refocus clients during this time because people are so anxious with all the uncertainties. I agree with you. I definitely agree. There is a lot of chaos in the world. There is a lot of uncertainty. We don't know, what we're going to be doing from one day to the next. We don't know if people don't know if they're going to have their jobs from one day to the next. People don't know if their loved ones are going to be alive from one day to the next, because people are getting this COVID. And who's not anxious, who's not stressed, who's not dealing with something. Like it just absolutely is where we are in this time. One of the things that I do think that it's good, to try to refocus people, to remind them, number one, that everything is purposed, right? I do always say that everything is purposed. Whatever happens is supposed to happen. And people have a hard time accepting that. People have a really hard time accepting that. And I get it. I get why they have a hard time accepting that everything happens for a reason, because we think in our minds, there's no reason that this tragedy should have happened. There's no reason that, this person should have lost their job and this, that, and the other. Now this, for me, I'm saved. I come from a Christian perspective. This is a ministry channel. So I definitely always try to, focus people towards God and remind them that he still reigns on the throne, no matter what, no matter who's in the White House, no matter who's, in the Senate, who's in the House of Representatives, whatever it is going on in your life, God sees it, he knows it, and he's preparing you. Not everything that we go through is supposed to be, is not always going to be great. But that doesn't mean that it can't be used to make us greater. So we tend to look at things, downfalls, as things that we can't rise back up from, things that we can't learn from. We have to shift sometimes how we look at tragedies and the bad things that happen in the world. This horrible thing happened. And I'm upset about it. I'm angry about it. And God doesn't say that we can't be angry, but we have to refocus and say, how am I going to learn from this? How am I going to grow from this? What am I supposed to be, getting out of this? And how can I turn this around? How can I help somebody else? How can I use this to be a blessing to somebody else? How can this make me stronger? How can this, show me some things that I might need to be seeing? So even in the midst of the tragedy, sometimes we have to think about, what is it that I'm supposed to be learning from this? Like, try to look for what it is that you need, because everything is purpose. And when you know that everything is purpose, you can feel less like a victim. It helps you to feel less like a victim and more like okay, I know this happened. This was intentional. God allowed it to happen. So let me see what can I get out of this for my good or for the good of someone else even. And that's something that's hard to teach people. It's hard to teach people how to do that. But when you show people and when you're able to remind people that a lot of bad things happen to a whole lot of people who had horrible childhoods, horrible lives coming up, all kinds of stuff. And they've come out of those things and gone on to do, amazing things and live solid, balanced, healthy lives. So for people to know that that's even possible is an inspiration, that helps people to know, okay, so this doesn't have to be the thing that kills me. This doesn't have to be the thing that prevents me from living the life that I want to live. So when I can show people examples of that or give people examples of that or remind people of that, it helps to shift their thought process about, how they can move forward after tragedies, after, dealing with the anxieties and all the stuff that comes with the uncertainties of life. She says, I'm trying not to pour myself dry with all the extra support that I find that I have to give. Yeah. If you are a person that you have to uplift a lot of people in your family or your friend circle or at your job, they depend on you to, stay up and to always encourage them to be positive and, to always have that good word. You have to make sure that you are keeping yourself full, because people will absolutely drain you dry. and no one is going to look out for you but you yourself. So you have to be your best advocate. You're your biggest advocate. And you have to say, okay, I need to make sure that I needed some time. I need a couple of hours. I make sure that every week I have a lot of people who pull on me. Obviously, every week I make sure that I take a couple of hours and do something that's just for me. And I think I talked about this in one of my morning sessions. So you don't be guilty. Don't feel guilty about taking the time to do things for yourself, because it is necessary. How can you be filled? How can you be filled? Whatever your spiritual beliefs are, your spiritual practices are, spend time, doing those things that refill your cup, those things that you enjoy, because that's the stuff that restores, our sense of hope. That's the thing that keeps us full so that we can continue to be a blessing to others. Hey, Aisha, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Andrea, I spoke with you via 11. Good seeing you. Hello, welcome. Let's see. And then Coach Sherry says, yes, that's what I always do in conversations or meetings. I jot down thoughts and go back and add. Yeah, absolutely. Did I go down too far? Let's see. I think I might act that way because I feel a disconnect between my grandchildren. I usually can catch myself, but it's difficult. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, people want to feel, especially, grandparents and aunts and uncles and, even good friends who aren't in their kids' lives. They want to feel relevant. They want to still feel like they're a part of the child's life, and they want to be present even when they can't. So they buy things and, for sure try to come into their lives that way. And if they can remember the thing that was purchased, then they'll think about who bought it for them and, kind of work to maintain relationship that way. So, and I do know parents that get very offended by that, by people who buy their kids a lot of stuff, because it brings all kinds of thoughts. I had a lady talk to me one time about her son not wanting her to buy her grandson stuff. And, they lived in Hawaii and she lived here in Texas. And she's like, this is all I can do. This is all I can do. And yet they get upset when I, purchase these things for him. So, I think, and I talked with her that sometimes it's better if you talk to the parents about it first before you just make the purchases, because a lot of times people will buy the stuff and then they just send it to the house, or they show up with it and the kids are like, oh, and then that sort of touches a nerve with the parents. So a lot of times if you talk to the parent, let them know, hey, I wanted to do this, but I want to know if it's okay. Do you all mind? Kind of get the parents' permission, get the parents' insight on what they think will be a good toy for their child, because you might buy the very thing that they don't want them to have for a reason that you don't know. So for sure, if you are that person where you want to, be in the child's life, try to talk to the parents and include them in the purchase so that they know that it's coming. They know that it'll be appropriate. And I think it'll cause a lot less friction. So that was what I had talked with her about. Let's see. That's a great tip, to have those conversations with everyone in the room. Yes, for sure. Let's see. Please don't forget. Oh, thank you. Please give this a thumbs up. Hello, sincerely, A Lucy. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Positive says she's going to have to watch the replay. Her daughter wants to watch a movie. Okay, not a problem. Good night. I'll see you soon. Good evening, Eve. How are you? Welcome. Yes, there's always purpose. Let's see. Would love to hear your wisdom on communicating. You don't want a friendship with someone who is eager to be your friend. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. And you don't want to be theirs. I think you can for sure control that. I don't know if you want to tell them that I don't want to be your friend. You certainly don't want to say that way. Just let them know, I appreciate you wanting to be in my life. I think you're an interesting person, a great person, phenomenal person, whatever you feel about them. But I am very busy, and I just don't want you to have expectations of what kind of time that I will be able to spend with you, and you get disappointed that I'm not there for you. So we can be in each other's lives, but I can tell you my time is very limited, and I'm not going to be able to, I'm not able to spend a lot of time on the phone. I'm not able to spend a lot of time, doing, things in person, but whenever we can catch up with each other, I would be happy to, talk with you, but just know that I'm not going to be able to spend that kind of time that you may be looking for, just because of, my responsibilities, my, whatever it is you have going on. So that's kind of how I would approach that. And so that way they're not. And then if they call, people who call you all the time, one of the things that I'll say, like if they call during a time that's normally my family time, I'll let them know, hey, I appreciate you calling me, but I only have, so many minutes to talk to you. So if this is something that is going to require a lot more time than that, then we'll have to try to do this another time. So I let people know upfront what kind of time I have. Most of my friends know that I do a lot. Most of all my conversation happens on the phone, because when I do get home, that is my family time. So I'm don't like spending a lot of time talking. I don't have hours to talk to people on the phone like I did when I was, younger and single and, didn't have family. I could talk forever, or people could show up at my house and, we could hang out and watch movies all day or eat or whatever, it didn't matter. My life was very different back then. So I let people know up front, I'm not sure you look like you are looking for someone to be in your life on a regular basis. And I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do that for you on the level that you wanted. So I don't want you to be disappointed. I'm letting you know now. So that's kind of how I would handle that. Sincerely, A Lucy. Okay. Aisha, big fact. Okay. Eve says, I am huge on taking care of me first. Absolutely. Uh-oh. Okay, River White says, someone who calls you friend, but their actions don't line up. Woo! Someone who has expressed these concerns, but they are in denial about their actions and still calls you friend. Yeah, I'm huge on that. If I'm having a conversation and people, if their actions don't line up with their words, I will definitely call them out on it. And I don't do it, the thing is to not do it in an ugly way, right? Like, well, you said you was going to do this and you didn't do it. And now I don't want to be, I can't deal with you no more, right? That's one way of saying it. Or we could say, let's see, I appreciate you being here. I know you want to hang out, or I know we talked about this, but I remember the last time we got together, you had mentioned that you were going to do this and that didn't happen. So you're really causing me to think that you're not a person of your word, right? And so I'm not sure how to take that. So I don't know whether to believe you or not to believe you. So I let people know, like, you can still call people out, but do it in a way that's not, I can't think of the word. I want to say like antagonizing or something, I don't know. But, do it in a way where you give them the opportunity to redeem themselves, at least the first time, right? Like the first time they do it, at least give them the opportunity to redeem themselves. So to say, well, I remember we talking about this last time, or I remember you telling me this last time, but I noticed that didn't happen. So I'm not sure if if something just happened, or is this if this is a pattern for you? Because when people tell me stuff, I tend to take them at their word, and you're showing me that I can't do that. So I'm not sure if I should, believe you right now or not. Right. So this gives people the opportunity to say, oh, like, you're letting them know that you're paying attention first and foremost. And then you're also giving them the opportunity to redeem themselves, like to get it right. And then if they do it again, cut them off, if that's the thing that you want to do. If you don't want them in your life, if you don't want to deal with them, you don't want to listen to them, all that stuff, you can say, I see this as a pattern now, right? We've talked about this. This time you did it. I mentioned it to you, you did it again. So I'm gonna have to let you go, right? I'm gonna have to not have this discussion with you or whatever. So yeah, when people's actions don't line up with their words, I absolutely make sure that if I can, I give opportunity to say something, give them opportunity to get it right. And if they don't, then I have to feel no kind of way about it. I don't, because it was all on them, really. Bio says it makes you feel a bit selfish. Let's see, I don't remember what we were talking about at that moment. Let's see. It's reassuring. Here you confirm it's good to try to do things for yourself. Absolutely. You definitely need to do that. Aisha says, sometimes self-care almost feels like a luxury I can't afford. It's not about finding the money. It's about finding the time. It is a luxury that you can afford, that you have to afford, because it, I wish I could help you all. I'm trying to figure out how to help you all make sure that, and I'm trying to help you all understand why this is so important, why it's so necessary to do this. And I think the thing is that people feel overwhelmed that it has to be this extended period of time, or it has to be this very expensive thing. It doesn't. It can be 30 minutes in your day. It can be half of your lunch hour that you spend doing something that you want to do versus the whole hour of doing something different, right? It can be 30 minutes after work. It can be 30 minutes up that you get up early in the morning. I used to do that early in the morning. I get up early. The reason it's easy for me to get up at 4:30 right now is because I've always been getting up at 4:30, and that's usually the time that I spend, in my word, refilling my cup, reading something inspirational. I have different like Bible study groups that I read early in the morning and stuff like that. So that's the stuff that I do to fill my cup before I even start my day. So once, God gave me this ministry, and now at 4:30, I'm doing this, it was easy for me to make this transition. So that's why, but, yeah, find some time. It doesn't have to be hours. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. It can be something simple. Just think about something simple that you enjoy doing. If it's taking a walk, if it's, taking some kind of class or art class, something I like to do is, and I don't get to do this a lot, but I like to do different things. I typically don't do the same thing all the time. So sometimes I'll go like to do the painting with a twist. Sometimes I will go catch a movie. Sometimes I'll go for a walk. Sometimes I'll, at a new hiking trail that I, haven't been to. Sometimes I'll go have lunch or dinner with a good friend of mine or a good coworker that we don't really get to talk that much outside of, like work. Sometimes I will go have, dinner by a body of water, by a lake or a river by myself, right? Where I'm just sitting there in my car and I'm looking at the beautiful water, looking at the beautiful scenery. I will eat and then I will leave. I used to every day I worked at a stressful office for a period of time. Every day during lunch, I would leave and just take a drive. I would literally get in my car and just drive for 30 minutes. I would eat for 30 minutes and then I'd go take a drive for 30 minutes. And it reset my brain every day to be able to walk back in that building and deal with all the, stuff that would go on in there every day. So it doesn't have to be a lot. And you would be amazed at what the smallest things that you can do that can make a big difference in helping you with doing some self-care. Okay. Yes, true fan. Self-care is so very important. Absolutely. Let's see. Nell says, true. My son's wives aren't going to our opportunities to connect with grandkids like the daughter does. What grandkids like the daughter does. Am I reading that wrong? Okay, I see what you're saying. Your son's wives they're not as willing to give those opportunities like your daughter does. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. So reach out to the son, reach out to the son and let the son know that you want to do this and let him take it to the wife. And then, have them come back to you. If you don't have a great relationship with the daughter-in-laws, let that, because that was actually the situation with the woman that I was counseling with that day, as well as that her and the daughter-in-law did not have a good relationship at all. So I talked her through helping her find some ways to talk with her son so that she could have get some things across that she wanted to say without putting him in the middle, in the sense of feeling like he had to choose between her and his wife. So we talked about some things with that. Let's see. Thank you all for sharing me out too. I appreciate all of you all who are sharing me out. I hope I'm not, okay, there we go. Coach Sherry says, yes, that's a great way of putting it. Let me scroll down here. Let's see. Nell says, I think it's good to practice saying the words before it happens too. Absolutely, it is. I spend a lot of time practicing things before I say them because I like to make sure, and I say it out loud too, not just in my head. I say it out loud. Like I imagine what I'm going to say. I imagine how the person is going to respond, all that. That was awesome, Ruth. Sometimes it's difficult for people to even keep up with what fills them because they have not had time to figure it out. Absolutely. You're so right. Hey, Shanita, me randomly. How are you, sis? Shanita says, I have to make time for myself and be selfish. Being a mother and a partner, you can sometimes lose yourself being everything for everyone and nothing for yourself. Absolutely. So true. Let's see. Nell says, I fully understand what you're saying. Yes. Good, Aisha. Hey, East Media with BG. How are you, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let me scroll. I'll go down here a little bit more. Ooh, I was way behind. Okay, I think I'm caught up now. Am I caught up? Good deal. I'm caught up. Okay. So what else is on you all's mind? You all want to put a word in the chat? I will expand on it. I will tell you my thoughts on that word. Or if you all have a question, whatever you're struggling with, I will tell you all, since we're here, that let's see here. Nell says it's difficult. Most of the time they choose the wife, and I don't take it personally. It hurts, but I understand that DIL is most important. It is absolutely. It's good that you don't make them choose, because that is something that causes a lot of stress on the son or the daughter, that if you're not getting along with their spouse, if you put them in the middle and make them choose, then yeah, absolutely. That is going to be a big thing that will cause you some regret, because they'll start feeling a certain kind of way about you and feeling stressed when you come around. Let's see. Shanita says, you look pretty tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Shanita. I love your necklace. Thank you. Well, I'd had on this boring old t-shirt. So I thought the best way to dress up a plain old t-shirt is to throw some jewelry over it. So that is exactly what I did tonight. So that's what you all are seeing. My attempt at trying to look a little bit more presentable for you all. Unmet expectations. Yes. Unmet expectations. Yes, absolutely. Oh, is that the word that you want me to talk about? Unmet expectations. Woo, oh man, expectations are so hard. It's like I love them and I hate them. I love them and I hate them. You have to be, I almost hate putting expectations on people. Expectations are unmet. First of all, you can't get mad about it if they had no idea that you were expecting it. That's number one. We get really mad at people when they don't do things because we think that they should just know, right? You're my spouse, you're my friend, you're your family, you work with me, you know me, you've been, with me this many years, you should know, right? And we get really mad about feeling like we have to get really mad about people who don't do the things that we just expect for them to do. And it's unfair to them, really. It really is unfair to them, because a lot of times what we think people should know, they don't. They just don't, because they're not paying attention. They don't pick up on a lot of cues. And even if it's something that we've said to them before, people forget. They don't realize the importance of it. They don't realize the value that you have on it. Okay, that's a huge thing. Sometimes, and this happens especially a lot in marriages. My husband and I even went through this when we first got married. We came into our marriage, we're older. We came into our marriage with these expectations of what was going to be. And I thought, okay, yeah, well, I can do that. And he would think, okay, well, I can do that. But then when we, didn't do those things, and we would be upset about it and it would cause friction, in the marriage, then, we would have these long spats or long periods of not talking at all. So, and one of the reasons is because even though we had these expectations, or even though we may have known, like I may have known that this was something that he liked or wanted, and he may have known that this was something that I liked or wanted, we didn't understand the level of value that we put on it, right? I didn't understand that his level of value for that thing that he wanted was way higher than mine, or my level of value for this thing was way higher than his. And when people don't understand the value that we put on them, and yet we put the expectations on them and they fall short of it, a lot of times it's because they don't know how important it is to us. We may have said it, we may have expressed it, we may have said it more than once, more than twice, but they don't understand what the value is, and they don't understand what it causes for us, right? Because so a lot of times we'll say, I want you to do this. I want you to, or stop doing this. I want you to do this. I want you to stop doing this. And this is important to me. But we don't let them know what the next step of that is to say, when you do this, this is how it makes me feel. This is what it triggers in my mind. This is what stress it causes me. This is how I respond to that when you do this or when you don't do that. And it brings a whole different level of understanding to the person that you're putting the expectations on. So, for instance, if I say, if you tell the person, when you don't do this, it changes, it shifts my whole mood. It shifts my whole mood. It shifts my thoughts. It makes me feel stressed. I start feeling anxiety because of this thing. It starts making me feel depressed. It starts making me feel like you don't care about me, that you don't love me, that you don't want me in your life, that you're not a real friend, whatever the thing that it makes you feel. Take it to that next level and explain to them why this is, so that they can get a better understanding of the value that you have on it, rather than just putting the expectation on them and getting mad at them when they don't do it. Okay. So that's a huge thing. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's see. Nell says, I want you to know that I used the praise strategy. Oh, great. And it's working. I get a funny look if they don't quite know what to say, but it's helpful. Good. I'm glad. I'm telling you, the more we praise, the more people repeat that behavior, right? So it's almost like prophesying. It's almost like, speaking those things as though they are, right? That's what that's doing. True Fan says to you, yes, unmet expectations. Yes, absolutely. That was resonating. Okay. All right. So let's see. What is the praise strategy? The praise strategy is basically when you're trying to get a behavior to change, or when you're trying to get more of a behavior, rather than complaining about the thing that they're not doing or the thing that they're doing, we praise them for the times that they do it. You make a big deal about it. We do it with kids, but it also works with adults as well. And it's a simple thing to do, but it's so effective. It's so effective to be able to say, like you tell a kid, oh, you cleaned up your room so good. You did such a great job with that, and they get excited and they just want to show you everything that they picked up and stuff. We're no different as adults. I hate to say it. We're just not. We're no different as adults. When somebody does something kind for me or does something out of the ordinary for me, even if they don't even know that I'm, watching or paying attention, and I praise that thing, it was like, oh, you'll get that, like, oh, I didn't know that was a big deal to you, or, oh, I didn't, like you start just recognizing the things that they're doing and that you want. It's like praising the behavior that you want or that you desire. And then they begin doing more of those things. The more we show thanks and appreciation and gratitude to people, the more they will continue to do that behavior, because we're expressing our appreciation and our gratitude towards that thing, versus saying, you never do this. How many times do I have to tell you to do that? Why is it so hard for you to do this? Start appreciating the things. Start showing more gratitude and appreciating the things that they are doing. Oh, I appreciate you, washing the dishes or picking up your shoes or putting the toilet seat down or listening to me or watching this television program with me. These little things that you would think are insignificant turn out to be more significant. So because we show gratitude for the little things, they're more willing to compromise on doing those things that we want, that we desire. Okay. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Let's see. Nell says, I'm not so good at it. So I have to try really hard. I think it's a love language of this person. Yeah. And that's true. If you have the if you know what a person's love language is, the more you can incorporate that love language into your conversation, into your actions towards these people, the better your life will be. But if you don't know their love language, which I think like are acts of service, basically, praise, touch, those are three, and I forget what the other two are, if y'all can help me with that. Gifts, and I forget what the fifth one is. But the more you can do that, the more people know that you appreciate them and the more they're willing to do for you. So as much as you can do that, please do. Word topic, manipulation. Woo. Yes, manipulation. Now that is something that can be hard to recognize. And a little bit difficult to combat sometimes. But once you recognize that you're being manipulated, you definitely want to address it right away. You definitely want to address it right away and let them know, I see what you're doing. I know I can, I'm understand it, or it feels like your intentions are this, you're coming at me towards that. I'm not going to accept this. I'm not going to agree to this. I'm not going to, this is where you really have to get firm with your no. You really have to get firm with your no and recognize that you are being manipulated. So anytime you're dealing with a narcissist, a controlling person, an addict, children, all these types of people, they like to use that manipulation strategy a lot because, you know, they're only caring about themselves and they're trying their best to get you to do what they want at whatever cost. And so as soon as you can recognize it, and usually it kind of takes a repeat of something that has happened in order for you to realize, okay, I'm being manipulated. Because we don't always know it the first time, right? Well, a lot of times we take people at their word the first time, the second, third, fourth, and fifth time, we should know better. We're being manipulated. Call them out immediately on it. Call them out immediately on it. I see what you're doing. I recognize what you're doing, and I'm not going to, fall victim to this again. So I'm going to hang up the phone. I'm going to close the door. I'm going to, separate myself from you for a period of time or forever if need be, whatever it is. Definitely make sure that you don't allow yourself to continue to be manipulated, and let the person know that you recognize that they are trying to manipulate you. That's a very important thing to do, because if not, they will continue to try. But if you knock it down every time, they will quit coming at you so much, because they know what you're trying to do, that they know that you recognize what they're trying to do. So for sure. Let's see. Oh, okay. That was your conversation earlier, Aisha. Affirmations. What do I think about affirmations? They're important. They are reassuring, they're validating. They are necessary. Affirmations are necessary because they remind us of the things that we tend to forget. When we're going through life and we are struggling with things, we can forget how important it is for us to remember what was, what is, or what can be. And so affirmations help us to refocus our thoughts, refocus our mind, and get us back on track with where it is we're trying to go, and also prevent us from falling into states that we don't want to be in, right? States of depression, states of anxiety, all that type of stuff. So affirmations are reminders of the truth, okay? They're reminders of the truth of what is, so that we don't get caught up, entangled up in the lies of what the enemy basically is trying to throw at us. So affirmations are extremely important. Coach Sherry says, yes, because what you focus on, you will get more of. Yes, I've done that in education, not spotlighting the bad behavior of students, but showcasing the good. It was a game changer. Yes, absolutely. It is. It is so many times. Let's see. You get more support all around doing that. You do. You absolutely do. When people feel like you're on their side, you're going to get a lot more cooperation, and you're going to remove some of those barriers when people feel like you're working with them and not against them. When you're not yelling at them, you're not judging them, you're not just you change. When people feel like you're on their side, like you're attempting to work, even if it's very difficult for you to do, which sometimes it is, then People are more willing to work with you. They're more willing to believe you. They're more willing to trust you. So for sure, praising people, affirming people, validating people, changing how you approach a conversation can make all the difference in the world in how you move forward in the relationship. Jackie says, great topic. Thank you, sis. Yes, gifts was the fifth love language. Okay. Hey, Angie Pooh, how are you? Welcome, Angie Pooh 215. Good to see you. Nell says, understanding that it can be difficult because usually they have a network of people backing them up to get away with their bad behavior. That's so true. I mean, that's absolutely true. I agree with you. That's why it can be difficult, but that doesn't need to cause you to be different. The more consistent you are in your behavior, in your conversation, in your approach, in how you treat them and how you love on them, it's not going to matter what all the people around you are doing, as long as you are consistent in what you're doing. And it will make a big difference in how they, receive you and how if they may be negative at first, they may push back at first, but as long as you're consistent with who you are towards them, because that's what's powerful for people. People like to know what to expect from you. I don't care who's in my life. I have all kinds of people in my life. But the people who I have in my life the most are the ones that are the realest. I have a hard time with fake snooty people. I'll just say it. I have a hard time. If you are kind and you're consistently kind and nice, then I'm good because I know what to expect from you. If you are a fusser, complainer, yeller, whatever, and that's who you are all the time, I'm good with you because I know what to expect from you. We have a hard time dealing with people who we don't know what to expect from them. They're this way one day, they're this way another day, they're this way that, day. We don't know what to do with that. We don't know how to talk to those people. We don't know how to communicate to those people. We don't know. I don't like walking in a room and I don't know who you are today, so, or how to interact with you or how to engage with you, because you may be feeling this way one day and the next day you're feeling that way. Those are the types of people that I tend to, push back from. I don't care how crazy you may be. If you're consistently crazy, I'm good with you. I'm good because I know what to expect. I know how to, adjust myself or, figure how much time I'm going to spend with you. If that needs to be, if I can even be in your presence today, because who I am, what I may be going through, whatever it is, because I know what to expect. So, I have my days when I'm like, ooh, I can't deal with this one today. Like this one is going to be a bit much. Ooh, the time is gone. Wow. So walking on eggshells, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking at, at Aisha's comment down here. Yeah, walking on eggshells. So yeah, I like people who are consistent in their behavior. So the more you can be consistent with people, the better they're going to receive you. And they'll know, either they're going to accept you or they're not. They're going to deal with you or they're not. They're going to limit their time with you or they're going to spend more time with you. The important thing is to be who you are. Be comfortable in your own skin. Be comfortable with, who you are. Be comfortable because people receive that better than when you try to be something that you're not. They may not like it. They may not agree with it. They may not, immerse themselves in their lives with you, but they can respect it. They can respect it. And so if you want respect, if you want people to trust you, if you want people to think that you have integrity, then be consistent in who you are. Be consistent in your conversation. Be consistent in how you show up in the world, who you are in your relationships. Don't be this way with one person, this way with another person, right? Be you and be comfortable in being you because you are necessary. Who you are is necessary. Now, work to be the best version of yourself, right? Don't be consistently crazy. continue to work to be the best version of yourself. If you're going to work to improve anything, work on being a better you, but don't change, who you are just to, fit in or be in good with, this group or that group or whatever. Don't do that. And if someone is not your crowd, if someone's not your cup of tea, or if someone doesn't receive you the way you want to receive them, be okay with it. Be okay. We're not called to everybody. We're not called to be everybody's friend. We're not called to be in everybody's life, all that. So be okay. We don't have to be accepted by everybody. It's okay to not be everybody's good friend. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that's the amazing thing about YouTube is we can hit the like button, we can hit the dislike button, we can subscribe or unsubscribe. It doesn't matter, right? But the people who are here prayerfully, and if you're not subscribed, please do. If you think I might be your cup of tea, please do hit that subscribe button. But yes, be yourself, be your authentic self in the world because you are necessary. Let's see, when they feel they hurt you. Yes, don't be fake with me. Absolutely. Don't be fake with me. Yes. Because, you might go with it for a while, but once you find out, then it's just going to, make you upset. It's going to make you angry. You're not going to want to deal with the person. Coach Sherry, I wish my premarital counseling involved love languages. Yes, not sure if it was out in 1999, but that is so important to understand in relationships. It is. It's a game changer. It was a game changer. I don't remember when that book came out either, but it was absolutely a game changer for realizing. But the biggest part of it is learning how to use it and actually incorporating. It's one thing to know, but it's a whole nother level to, act on it and figure out how to incorporate it in those day-to-day decisions and all that stuff. So for sure. True Fan says, know who you are and be that. That's right. And maybe that's the problem. A lot of people don't know who they are. They don't know who they are. I'm glad you said that, True Fan, because a lot of people don't know who they are. They're trying to figure it out. And that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother night. So I don't have time to delve into that one. I'm so glad you said that. Thanks so much. I have really felt the need to do that the most. Good. The Fruitful Wife says, people pleasers have an issue with consistently being themselves. Yes. And it's a sad thing to see. It's a sad thing to see people who aren't comfortable with themselves. And we all go through a period of that, typically when we're younger, transitioning into adulthood, trying to figure out, what kind of adult it is we're going to be. But once you figure it out, once you figure out what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what fills your cup, what keeps you in a good space, a healthy space, then you know that that's probably who you are. We figure out who we're not when we start feeling uncomfortable. Like I learned when I was in, as much as I am a people person, I remember one night me and all my girlfriends were going out and we were going to a club. It was like this really big club. And, when you're in college and you're young and it's like clubs are the things to do, right? At least back in the 90s. And a lot of people still club and all that. And I don't mind going to clubs every once in a while, but I mean, it was like an every weekend thing. Like, it was like, oh, what club we going to, right? And I got to a point where I was like, why am I doing this? Like, I hate this environment. I hate this scene. I hate this, this energy in the air. It wasn't a good energy for me. And so I quit going to clubs. I decided, we came back one night from a club and I was just like, you know what? I'm done doing clubs. Like, I'm done with that. Now, if I go to a club, it's different. Like, it's a different kind of club. So yeah, pay attention to those inner cues of the things that you like, the things that make you feel good, because that's what helps determine who you are. If you don't know, if you're trying to figure it out, if you go places and you don't like it, if you're hanging around with people that you don't particularly care for, stop doing it. Stop doing it. It's like, you know what? These aren't my people. These aren't my people. Limit your time around them. If they're people close to you, just limit your time around them, whatever it is. But these are the things that you do that you can pay attention to help you figure out who you are, discover yourself. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. That was at Coach Sherry. Sometimes rejection is so traumatic. They will do and say anything not to feel rejection again. Yes, even if it means being fake. That's so true. That's so true. I 100% agree with you. Hey, Blinding Lights, how are you? Welcome. Welcome, and Be Amazing Sylvia. Good to see you. Welcome. Well, I have gone over my hour. I try really hard not to go over. I hope this was a good conversation for you all. I hope this was a good live for you all. We'll, possibly do it again sometime next week. Next week, I'm super excited. I'm going to be talking about friends next week. I'm bringing my sisters on who have known me since grade school, literally, and we are all well into our 40s now. So we have known each other for a long time. So I'll be talking about friendship a lot this week. And then I'm going to bring all my sisters on next Saturday. And we will be having discussion. I'm going to let them do most of the talking, and I'll give you all opportunity to ask questions as well. How we have kept ourselves being friends over almost 30 years. Well, 30, over 30 years now. Because we were like 7 years old when we met, and we have remained friends for many years. So yeah, we will all be on next Saturday. So I'm super excited for you all to meet them. I'm super excited about that conversation. So please don't miss next Saturday. And as they come and you get to know them, and y'all, learn to see me from a different perspective as well. All right. I'm going to say a quick prayer and then we're going to head out. All right. Y'all have and Monday also, I start a new ABCs, like y'all know from the last couple of months, I've been doing the ABCs of communicating. I've gone through every letter of the alphabet, and we've had a communication topic. Next, starting Monday and moving forward, I'm going to be doing the ABCs of tongue types, which is basically personality types. So some of these difficult people that we're talking about right now, I'm going to pick a letter of the alphabet and go through all those different types of personalities, but I call them tongue types because it's the way they communicate that sometimes rubs us the wrong way. So I'll be spending the next few months going into the new year talking about how we communicate with some of these difficult, trying people. All right. Thank you, True Fan. I appreciate that. All right, Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for loving on us. Thank you for just reminding us that who we are is enough, that we have what it takes in us to have good relationships with others. Give us what we need to be comfortable and be in our own skins, that you made us uniquely and wonderfully in the image of yourself. We were made perfect in your image. And there's nothing wrong with being who we are and being comfortable. We don't need to seek validation. We don't need to seek permission from anyone outside of you. So help us to touch each and every life in this chat right now to be who they are, be comfortable with who they are, but keep us humble to be able to work with others, to communicate with others, to work on just being the best version of ourselves. Help us to be okay when people reject us and not to let it ruin, our day, not to let it ruin who we are, not to let it change the root of who we are, because we are good people. There are good people in this chat with good intentions. But Father, sometimes we get lost, we get distracted, we get off course with who it is that you've created us to be. So Father, bring us back on track. Help us to keep people around us that encourage bringing out the best of who we are and not the worst, and help us to limit our time around those that do bring out the worst in us, and help us to be able to recognize when that's happening. So Father, touch our lives, touch their lives, be with us, guide us, and put us in the direction for which you would have us to go, so that we can continue to be the light in our relationships and have the healthy relationships that we desire, that we deserve, that you created us to be able to have with other people. We don't want to be in fear of being in relationships with others, but we want to be able to enjoy who we are and enjoy the company of others. Father, we love you. We thank you. And I bless each and every person. And these things I ask in your son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right. You all have a wonderful night. I enjoyed it. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Thank you. Excited about next week. Yes, me too. Me too. I'm super excited too. So yeah, that's going to be good. These ladies are my everything, part of my everything, my inner circle. These are my inner circle friends. So, all right. I will chit chat with you all. Y'all have a wonderful night. Blessings to each and every one of you all, and continue to be the light. All right. Bye-bye.